everyone. I hope you're having a wonderful time at our fabulous event. I'm Glenda Green and I'm going to be teaching you a fun Christmas craft. I hope this will be a fun way for you to interact with your children or your family at home. When Bridget asked me to teach a craft, the first thing that came to mind was one of my favorite crafts that I use in my classroom every year, and that's a Christmas stocking. So I cannot wait to show it to you. What you're going to need for this craft is a hole punch. You're going to need some scissors. You will need some tape, some yarn. I got out green and red for Christmas. You could use any color. And then you're going to need a large brown paper bag, like from your local grocery store. You could also just use 2 sheets of large construction paper or some large cardstock. I like to use the brown paper bags. Our local Brookshire's donates these for my classroom every year. They're very sturdy, and then this also helps to teach our kids how to reuse things for our crafts. Okay, so let's start with our brown paper bag. So for time's sake, I have already done some of the steps ahead of time, and I will be showing those to you along the way. So what you're going to do first with your brown paper bag, you're going to cut down the side of the bag, and basically you're going to cut the bottom of the sack off. So you'll need to open it, cut down the side, cut the bottom off, and after you've done that, your paper bag will be one giant piece of brown paper. You're going to fold that over evenly so that you have a doubled paper bag. All right, if you're using paper or cardstock, again, you're gonna need 2. This is gonna stay doubled the whole time, all right? The next thing you're gonna do is draw a stocking on your brown paper bag. If you have a tracer of a stocking, that would be even better, but you can definitely freehand the stocking, and then you're going to cut it out. All right, here is mine that I prepared ahead of time. So I've cut out a stocking on the brown paper bag, and you'll see it is doubled, so we still have the 2 pieces together. You're gonna keep those together the whole time. I know if you're working with small children, they're gonna be tempted to separate it, but they need to leave it together the whole time because this is gonna be actual working stocking that opens and holds things, okay? All right, after you've cut the stocking out, if you're working with young ones, you're gonna wanna do this, help them with this part. Older kids and adults can probably just go for it, but you're gonna want to even put some dots around the stocking where they're gonna be hole punching evenly around the stocking. After they've punched holes, and let me just throw this in there, if you're doing this for your classroom like I am, you're gonna wanna prep this part ahead of time. I cut the stockings out ahead of time, I draw the dots on them ahead of time, and I go ahead and tie my yarn on ahead of time. I do not punch the holes for them except for this one hole to start the yarn. So one of the reasons I use this in my classroom is it is really great fine motor skills for them to punch those holes. It takes a lot of muscle work for the little ones, and it's a really great way to teach them to follow directions too, as well as just to have fun. Okay, so we have our stocking, we have drawn our dots, we have tied our string, and let me stop here too and tell you how much string you're going to need. So there's 2 stitches that you can use on the stitching. They're going to lace it like they're sewing. If they are doing a whip stitch, which I'll just go ahead and show you on the finished product, is a little bit fancier stitch like this, that's my favorite, you're gonna need about 3 yards of yarn. If you're gonna do a traditional over and under stitch, you'll need about 2 yards of yarn. So I don't even measure my yarn. I just take my yarn and I measure with an arm's length. So I'll just measure 1 yard, 2 yards, 3 yards if you're doing that whip stitch, right? All right, once you have the string tied on, if you have older kids or you're doing this at home and you trust them with a needle, you definitely can use a big yarn needle. I don't use that in my classroom. I put a little piece of tape on the end of the yarn to make it kind of like a shoestring so that they can easily lace up the stocking without messing up the yarn, right? Okay, so after they've laced it up, oh, also notice that when I tied the yarn on to begin with, I tied it on the toe end of the stocking at the top. because after we've laced it up and gone all the way around the stocking, we will end on the heel side where you can make your loop. And I tie the loop here, and in the classroom on Christmas party day, we don't bring backpacks, we hang our stockings on a hook, and this is used at our party. We actually bring small stocking stuffers for all of our friends and drop them inside for a fun little gift to take home. So after your stocking is laced up, you can decorate it. I write my students' name on it because that's what they're hanging to do those stocking stuffers. Some years I have done white cotton balls across the top to just make it look a little bit more like a stocking. You could use stickers, paints, markers, anything you wanted to decorate the stocking and make it unique for you. All right, I hope this was a fun craft. I hope this is something you can enjoy with your family, your kids. Maybe cousins could get to do this. Maybe you're a teacher watching and you could even do this in your classroom as well. I hope it blesses you. I hope you have a wonderful time at our fabulous event and a wonderful Christmas.